Welcome to Studio Chatter, everybody. I'm Craig Reeves. For the first time, we have a guest returning, and it happens to be the very first guest this podcast has ever had, Annie Elise. Annie's been up to a lot of really cool things lately. She has a new record out, Again and Again. You can find a link to the song in the description below if you're listening on YouTube. Believe me when I say the song is an absolute banger. There are many other great things Annie's been doing, and she has a lot of awesome things on the horizon as well that we talk all about. It's always fun to talk to Annie, and I know you're going to enjoy this, so let's get right to it. Annie Elise, welcome back to Studio Chatter, the original Studio Chatter guest.
Honored to be back once again. Always a good time talking with you, Craig.
You are the first guest to make a return to the podcast. So we're going to see how this goes. And
I'm honored to be the first with two firsts. First guest and first return. It's like such a big honor.
Yeah, definitely. Well, first of all, Annie, you look great. So you look happy, you look healthy, and I'm glad to see that everything is going well for you right now.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to thank you for your support for the podcast.
It's a favorite.
I know that you have, been telling people about it. You always share episodes, and it really means a lot to me that you've been so supportive of it. So thank you. I really appreciate that.
Oh, you're very welcome. Pleasure's all mine. There's no other podcast like it. You just go so deep into every artist you have on, and it's a surprise every time.
Awesome. So you have an amazing record that is out right now, Again and Again. I love it. It is
thank you so
something
much.
that I think a lot of people are going to enjoy. You, I think, are going to be famous one day, which is why I have wanted you on this show. And when I listened to that record, man, the way you hit those high notes, the way you have put together and arranged the vocals and everything, my very first thought when I heard the record, because I know you worked on it with so just tell me who you worked on it with. Like, just give me a picture of who you worked on it with.
Yeah. So Again and Again it'll be the fourth single now. It's the fourth Annie Elise single that we've released, and it's different not only in its genre but also in the fact that not many people worked on it. It was really just me and then King Nevo, who I do a lot of production work and performing with, and then the only other person on it was just our mastering engineer, Jason Petrin. So that's it. That's all the people on the record. Very small collaboration. But just some really incredible people to work with. I think you can pull that off working with not many people when you're all really in the same vibe and you really all know what the vision is that you're striving for. And that happened with this record, and it was a beautiful thing.
Definitely. How old is King Nevo?
He's 23 right now.
Yeah, when I listen to this record, I think, these are people who are seasoned veterans who worked on this. I mean, people who are under the age of 25. It's like, wow, the amazing talent that I'm seeing with young people today. It just blows my mind.
It's incredible.
It really does.
Yeah, I think a large part of kind of what we're seeing with these incredibly young people just killing it in music right now is due to almost like you're able to do it now. There's a lot of tools available to people that don't always have access to a studio or don't have access to learning it in a school situation like Berkeley. It's just way more accessible to get started in music now than it used to be, and I think that's awesome. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've said a million times on this show that you guys are far more advanced than we ever were, than people. When I was 20, when other producers who are now in their late 30s like me, when we were in our 20s, we were nowhere even close to y'all's level. I mean, it was like, okay, we could make beats, but our mixes didn't sound very good. And, we could.
The technology is advancing so far and so fast too. I know you work a lot in Cakewalk, or Studio One. I can't remember. It's Cakewalk, right?
I work in Cakewalk and Ableton. Those are the two DAWs that I use.
Okay, I was wrong on Studio One.
Yeah, my brother uses Studio One.
Got the lookalikes mixed up. But also like the technology that's within both of those like programs and everything, like that's come a long way too. It's advancing so fast, and I think that's awesome. And I think that's kind of why we're seeing this large kind of boost in young people that are just really passionate about these things in music.
Yeah, and plus there's a lot more avenues in which to learn.
Yeah,
I mean, when
definitely.
I was 20, they didn't have YouTube out.
No
there
Twitch
was no
streams
YouTube.
to go check out on. It's hard to get feedback on your mixes from people that know what they're talking about. Whereas now it's super easy. You just ask someone through the internet.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing that I've talked to you about personally was I think the songwriting is fantastic on this song. It's just the lyrics, the phrasing, the melody. It's perfect. It really is. Because like one thing that you can always tell with a seasoned songwriter is they know where to put words. They don't misstress syllables, and or when they do it at the right time in the right way. I mean, these are all things that I hear in your songwriting.
That means a lot. For a long time, I really didn't think of myself as much of a songwriter. I still sometimes struggle with that. Like songwriting is probably the part of the artistry and the creating of the music that I feel like the most insecure about. I don't know. I feel like I had a good grasp on like the production I wanted and how I wanted the song to sound. But it's funny because I feel like every time I write a song and release it as Annie Elise, it's not really about me. Like I feel the most comfortable as a songwriter when I write about other people's lives. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but for example, Open Eyes, I think we talked about that on the last time. Open Eyes was about like a close friend of mine that was in kind of the end of a relationship that she needed to not be in. And I wrote it about that. Like I couldn't directly relate, but I feel like it's a different level of understanding when you can kind of step outside of it and write something super honest without feeling too attached to it. And again was kind of the same sort of thing. Like my roommates right now and my friends at Berkeley right now, like, I don't know. It's kind of weird with their romantic lives at the moment. And so it's like so many of my
young
friends,
people in college, you don't say.
Yeah, no, you got it. You got it exactly right. And so that's kind of what my friend groups have been talking about lately is like are we more than friends? What are we? And that's kind of the talk that I hear them having, and I don't know how to help. And I'm obviously not in that situation. I'm very blessed to be in an awesome relationship with someone who's also very musical. So while I can't directly relate to that, I feel like sometimes it's fun to take a deep dive into something and try to understand the emotions the best that you can. So yeah, again and again is kind of about that. What are we talk? And like, do you like me? Should I say something? What's going to happen next? But oof, I really like you, So that's kind of what it's about.
Well, in my day, we used to call that a situationship.
Yeah, situationships. It's a situationship song.
Yeah, I've been in a couple of situationships, and I can tell you that I can relate a lot. So you did a very good job of putting yourself in the shoes of somebody in a situationship.
That is
as
good
somebody
to
who's
hear.
been in. As somebody who's been in way too many in his life, I can definitely tell you that you hit the nail on the head. So one thing that I notice, and I know that you probably might be too modest to admit this, but I really believe that as far as your ability to put together a song and your ability to write a song and arrange a song, I don't know if there's much left that you could learn at Berkeley. If I'm being completely honest, I really don't know.
I was scared about what you were about to say. I was like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I could be wrong about that, but I don't know. I mean, it's like, because there are people who have been producing for a lot longer than you've been, and they don't arrange vocals the way you do. they don't. Like, I'm very impressed with your vocal production skills, especially at your age, because you produced the vocals for this song, right?
I did, yes. One thing I love putting in songs is just a bunch of background vocals. I think those can really drive the production of the track a lot. And so like, you know, about the mute structures in hip hop, that's what it has always kind of been based off of. And I treat the background vocals almost like a mute structure too, if that makes any sense. Like they're in at some point, and sometimes they're in, but you only perceive them. You don't really understand them, if that makes sense. But I've always enjoyed kind of using the background vocals as almost a different instrument entirely, somewhere between the lead and the production. I don't know. I really like it. And I think a lot of it comes from just the background and string arranging, because we've talked before that violin's actually my principal instrument. So I grew up kind of doing string arrangements and understanding how the roles kind of feed into each other. You just kind of, you see a lot of it if you grow up playing like chamber music. And so I just kind of try to mimic the same type of thing, but with background vocals, and I really enjoy it. So I'm glad that you like them.
Yeah, and let's not underestimate the fact that you have a great singing voice. I mean, your vocal performance was really strong on that record.
It's a different one. I've started to get a lot comfier with my chest voice. Like when we did We Can Pretend, that was very much like up in the head voice range. But I've also come to really love the chest voice. I can bell. Oh my gosh. So I don't know, kind of a little empowerment song that I can sing like that. I don't know. It's exciting.
Definitely. So do you feel like you've grown as a vocalist in the couple of years that you've been putting out music as Annie Elise, like as a vocalist?
For sure. I think, like I was telling you, kind of insecure about songwriting, but something that comes with it is maybe, I don't know. I think that when you grow as a vocalist, you can only get better as time goes on. It's not like you can get worse by singing more and more things. But I think that what it's been for me is a journey into really feeling confident in myself and what exactly it is that I want to say with my artistry. And then when that is super solidified and I feel super confident in that, I don't know, the vocal performance just kind of comes. And it can change, and that's a good thing.
Amazing. Yeah, because I really believe that I've heard the growth, not only in your voice, but also in your production. And
oh my gosh, I was just talking to a friend about that today. Yeah, she's like, I met you like in December, and like I can already hear how your production is growing. I was like, oh my gosh, I look back at stuff I produced last year and I cringe. Like, I can't believe. But it's kind of crazy. Like, that was only a year ago. I don't know. I've only really been producing for about 2 years now. It's just kind of like, whoo.
It's crazy. You've been on fire lately. You've been doing a lot of cool things lately. So number one, you got to meet Santos, who was on this show last week.
That was so fun.
I am very jealous of both of y'all. Because now, obviously, I mean, you've known Santos, but you got to meet him in person.
Yeah, it's always different meeting friends you know over the internet in real life, especially when like you vibe in real life.
I don't think it's different.
I mean, different as in like I appreciate it.
Well, I object to the term real life, which is why I use the term in person. This is real life. We're real people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you also got to meet Brain Tan in person as well.
I did. Yeah.
Yes. Again, I'm jealous of both of y'all. But you know what? We're all going to meet at some point. Some point, I'm going to make my way down there to Boston, and I'm going to meet with y'all, and it'll be lit.
It will be lit. Yes.
Awesome. Now, you have built up some great business relationships since the time that we've talked. And one of them is Claire Donzelli.
Oh, I love Claire.
And so tell us about Claire's role in your business as an artist. Like, Claire Donzelli is an amazing recording artist in her own right. Mm-hmm. And she is a very talented singer-songwriter, and she's also a great manager as well. Tell us about how you met with Claire and how you guys started working with each other.
So Claire and I met in harmony class a long time ago, years ago.
At Berkeley, right?
Yeah, at Berkeley. It was one of my first classes when I was there. I think it was one of her first classes at Berkeley too. And jazz harmony class was hard for both of us. And so that's how we met. We both sat in the front because we did not understand chord scales when they were first introduced to us. Classically trained musicians, not understanding jazz chord scales. But yeah, so we kind of did our homework together, helped out. We did our homework together. We did our homework alongside each other and would ask each other if we didn't understand something. We were kind of study pals for the class, which was great. And we both still bombed the final. It was terrible, even though we put so much work into studying and went to office hours and all that stuff. So harmony was not a great time, but we suffered together, which really bonds you if you can get through harmony class together. Yeah. And then after that, we kind of just remained friends because Claire's a wonderful person. And she was studying music business, which I remember, and I was just starting the music production engineering major. And then since then, we've just really started to love both of those things and kind of make our own way, figure out what exactly we want to do as individuals that are in that part of the industry. And it turns out that Claire's really interested in not only PR, but also artist management. And I found out that I was really interested in being an artist producer. And things just got really busy to manage on my own. And Claire and I actually were on the same train ride back from New York. And so I saw her and was like, oh my gosh, let's catch up. And so we had 4 hours to catch up on a train. That's when I saw her, and she was like, well, here's what I think you should be doing. And she gave me all this excellent advice for how she would manage what I'm doing if she were the manager. I was like, wait a second. This seems too good to pass up. You're right. So that's when we started working together. That was probably around June of the summer. And it's been great ever since. I've learned so much.
Oh, nice. Yeah, she seems to be really serious about helping you in your career, which is definitely something that you want in a manager.
Yeah, and not only that, but we also believe kind of in the same things. She's also super big on getting more women in the music industry. It's also on the business side, the percentage is really low, and we've just both encountered so much sexism. It's oof, this needs to stop, and anything I can do to get this to stop, I will do. So it's kind of, I don't know, we've taken this little us against the world mentality. A win for us is yay, let's get more women in the music industry, which we were working together to do. And it's been really fun and really rewarding.
Yeah, you said rewarding. So one of the things that you've talked to me privately about is how, Claire is really somebody who has done a phenomenal job in getting people to, take a look at you in ways that you weren't able to do on your own. Yeah,
for sure. Just even having someone alongside you to support kind of what you're doing, it makes it feel a lot less draining mentally. Before, when I was kind of doing everything myself, I had a video go viral, and then for the next week I was getting messages from people that were like, go make me a sandwich, wench. And I was like, oh Lord, is this what I have to deal with now?
Wow.
I was really kind of draining when you're alone and you're like, oh, is this what people think of me and and what I'm doing? But then when you have someone else that believes in what you're doing as much as Claire does, it's like, yeah, okay, I can handle this. I can take this. So it's just a little support. It's what we need sometimes.
Well, the next big step for Claire would be to come on this show. I've been trying to get Claire to come on this show for a minute. So if you can put in a good word for me,
always.
We're gonna try to get Claire on this show at some point, because I'd love to chat
Claire's
with her.
Claire's just such an inspiring person in her own. I'm really inspired by her whole story and everything that she's been able to do. Just incredibly driven.
So you and SCayos worked on a record.
We did, yes.
SCayos is a well-known kind of chill hop producer. He's from Boston too, right?
I don't know if he's from Boston, but he's living in Boston now, same as me.
Okay.
He's a year below me in Berkeley. Yeah.
How old is he?
I'm not sure how old he is, but this is my 7th semester in EPD, and this is his 3rd semester in EPD.
Oh, okay. So the thing is, y'all worked on a track together with From Here as well.
We did, yeah. From Here provided the sample, so it wasn't as close of a collaboration, but we used that as the base to make the track off of.
Yeah, and so y'all did a record called Know You Better.
We did.
Which is a bop, total bop.
It was so much fun to make.
What was the story behind that?
Oh man, this is a fun one. So every time,
also featuring Aristotle Jones too, is a great rapper.
Oh yes. Aristotle's also in Boston. I think Aristotle is from Boston.
He's from Boston.
Yeah, he's the one that's from Boston. But we kind of all had been at Berkeley and just had like never met. And so we have this inside joke, SCayos and I, that every time he calls me up, it's always like, what are you doing right now? Like every time it'll be like, hey, I'm down the street. I have cookies. Like, do you want one? Like right now. Or, hey, like I am in a session and if you want to come, like right now, like it's always right now. So I get a call one night. It's like, hey, what are you doing right now? I was like, I'm not doing anything right now. What do you need? He's like, well, I'm in a session with Aristotle. And we wrote like a great rap verse and we have a beat, like, and we're trying to get this done like in the next hour, like just for fun. Can you write a top line? And I was like, sure. So I did. He sent over the lyrics he had for the verse and I kind of like analyzed what he was trying to say and tried to like write a little hook. And I sent it back and they were like, this is perfect. We have to release this. So the whole song was done in an hour. Like start the clock,
wow,
send this back in an hour. And we had the beat done. And then all we did was send it to mixing, which was to me. I mixed it. And then we sent it to mastering, who did it? I forget who mastered it. His name was Quentin.
Quentin.
Yeah, and that was it. That was it.
Wow. It turned out really well.
Yeah,
it didn't sound like it took an hour.
The quickest collaboration ever.
So you mixed it in less than an hour then, right?
Not an hour. We did that after the fact. So I think it took me 2 hours to mix. But
a
still,
2 hour mix. Really good mix for 2 hours.
It helped to like be part of the production because I knew what the sample sounded like and I know my own voice really well.
Oh, you added to the production too?
Yeah, just a little bit. Like with the vocal production and everything. So I kind of knew what I wanted to do with the mix, which didn't make it take much time at all. So
did you record the vocals yourself, like at your studio?
I did. I just did them right here. And I sent the whole vocal stem to them, and that's what we ended up using in the mix. Like in that hour, I recorded them.
Oh, wow.
And when I sent them I guess I had it like starting at the wrong point because I had written it to a totally different timing, and they imported it wrong into Ableton, and it sounded better, and we kept it like that.
Wow, that's what's up.
Yeah, it is. They were like, "Oof, can't unhear it," so we were like, "Yeah, we just have to keep what we imported." So
really nice.
That's the story for that. Super
awesome.
Quick, came together really fast. But yeah, SCayos and I just have the same type of energy workflow that's like super optimized, super quick. So anytime we work on something, it never takes more than a day, which is awesome. It's really fun.
Wow, that's crazy. You also opened for ill.Gates.
I did.
Not long ago.
That was really recently. That was just at the end of last month.
How was that? What was the experience like for that?
Oof, I could not believe it when I got off of the phone.
How did that happen? Like, did they call you or did you call them? And how did they find you? So
I knew ill.Gates from a previous remix competition. I had remixed a bunch of Foley sounds for I don't know if it was a Berkeley sponsored contest, but it was called the I Know contest. And they had all of these sounds that they had just recorded, which was like there were no melodic sounds. It was crazy. It was like, I don't know, you tap as like a street sign, just these really random sounds that made no sense. And then you had to make a track out of as many as possible. And then the winner got, the Isotope production suite. Yeah, it's called production suite. And I was like, okay, this will be a fun challenge. Cause I was quarantined. I had COVID at the time, so I couldn't do anything. I was like, all right, guess we're going to do this. It was actually really fun.
I didn't know you had gotten COVID.
I did. I had COVID in early March. I didn't have like any symptoms, but tested positive at the school.
Did you get the vaccine?
It wasn't available yet. Because it was March.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but I have since gotten the vaccine and we're all good. But no one caught it from me. I just was quarantined in my studio for a few days. Too bad. So I just worked on this for a few days, dissecting kind of like the pitch things. And I had turned this one sign tap that had like a resonance into like the main synth. And then we had to do a little breakdown video explaining what we did, and I did. And everyone else was like, "Oh my god, like this is cool." So I submitted it. I ended up winning, and ill.Gates was judging. So that's kind of how we got in touch. And then sometimes like we message each other from time to time. He's a really great person to go to for just advice in general about anything relating to production, sound design, career, mental health. Just a really knowledgeable guru.
Yeah, so you kept in touch with him.
Yeah, I kept in touch, and then just mentioned like, "Oh, like you're coming to Cambridge. I'm gonna come. This is gonna be so fun." And he was like, "Wait, do you want to open?" I was like, yeah." So that's how that happened.
I noticed you are really good about that. You're very good at keeping relationships with people because you're such a likable person, right?
Oh, thank you, Craig.
And so that's one thing that I think people can learn from you. Definitely.
I think I just like people. Like I'm genuinely invested in everything that everyone is doing. Like I will be your biggest cheerleader, and it is great. I love seeing other people just like succeed and be so happy.
Yeah, and it doesn't come from a fake place. Like
no,
you genuinely
I genuinely
are...
love like oh my gosh. Like you could talk for hours about like whatever you're doing. I will sit here and be like, that's so cool. I just love it. I love hearing what other people are up to. So I don't know. I guess it comes from a place of support. I don't know.
Did you get a chance to show him more of your music?
I did.
I mean, I couldn't imagine him not being impressed.
It was fun because like ill.Gates does a DJ set that's kind of maps like audiovisual, and my set is very much not that. So like all the other openers were DJs, and then I went first. I was not a DJ because I do like the beat thing with my SD4.
Kind of the live looping thing.
Yeah, live looping, singing along to it. It feels much more live than a DJ set, which was fun, but he loved it. I don't know, he texted me a few days later like, "Oh, what was that one song it was really cool." It's like, "Oh, he remembered." Yeah, he sat and watched my whole set. It's like, it's awesome.
Dude, so if you want to check out some live looping, you should check out my buddy out of Austin, Neon Vines.
Oh my gosh, Neon Vines. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I'm a big fan.
Are you now?
I am now.
Well, you'll see her here, so that's good. One thing that I was really impressed with is that you worked with Mia Asano. And that had to be super cool because Mia Asano, she went viral on TikTok.
Mia is one of my favorite people. I actually was just hanging out with her earlier today. We met because we had the same violin teacher. We both studied under Jason Anik, who was my teacher around the time that like my finger stopped working for violin. And so one of the things that like Jason Anik and I were talking about was like, how can I incorporate violin into my production? And he was just a really big encourager of me to look into that more, which I feel like a lot of violin professors would not be, but I'm really grateful to Jason for giving me some of the opportunities there. But Jason was also Mia's violin teacher. And so when Mia was like, "All right, I'm ready to do an electronic song with violin," he was like, "I know who you should talk to." And that's how we got connected there. It's just been so fun. The things that Mia's able to do with her violin are so refreshing and so new, and she has so many great ideas, and it's just really fun.
And you guys collabed.
We did multiple times. We did a little video for January, and then we did her song Lunar, which just dropped also.
The video for that record is gonna be out by the time this podcast episode drops.
It is. Would you like to know something really cool about the video? The video was done before the song.
No
Fun
way.
fact. It was, yes. She filmed the video while she was home for a holiday in Colorado. And all she had then was like the tempo and the melody of the song. So I created like a click track for them to record the video to, and that's what they recorded the video to. And then we did the production afterwards, kind of following what they did with the video.
Oh, nice. So
I had never even thought that it could be done that way, but it actually makes a lot of sense.
So who all was involved with the production of that record?
With the production, probably Mia was very involved in the production, the whole thing. And then it was me, and I was mentioning the mastering engineer for Again and Again, Jason Petrin. And Jason also worked, we co-produced the song together. Jason's just really good with electronic music. He has a background as a DJ and also in sync. So it's like, I learned so much every time I watch him do anything.
Wow. Do you enjoy working with Jason?
I do. It's just like, you know, those people that are like quiet but super mighty in what they do. I feel like Jason is one of those people. Like, he knows so much, but you will never know from listening to him talk that he knows. Like he won't talk about how much he knows. He just knows so much.
Yeah, I get that vibe from Brain Tan too. Like
exactly.
Brain Tan, like very soft spoken, just an absolutely nice guy,
but a beast in production.
But a beast. So just the most humble, down to earth person. You'd never think this dude is a beast. But
yeah,
he is.
Yeah.
It's
I love
insane.
working with those types of people. I think a lot of times they can be overlooked by the industry, but they deserve way more. They deserve the world.
You know where I'm going to go with this? Mia Asano. That's somebody else who could be on this show. I'm going to keep plugging. I'm going to keep doing it, man.
You should.
Hey, you know what? I'm on my job right now, man. I'm plugging. So, now
Mia's killing it. Definitely talk to her. All the uses of electronics in her violin and stuff. It's just crazy. Yeah, I walked with her to pick up her bow. It was getting repaired today. So we picked it up and went shoe shopping.
Wow. Her violin broke?
Just her bow. It needed rehaired.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Yeah.
So another person who you also became friends with, I don't know if you've collabed with this person or not, but I'd like to see it. And that's Damoyee Janai.
Damoyee, also one of my favorite people. I feel like this whole show is maybe like my favorite people. But Damoyee, such a cool person too. Yeah, oof. She came over here to stay for like 2 weeks. She was kind of living here in the apartment. And we just made so much music. It was amazing. So y'all have collab. Oh, yeah. We've been working on stuff for the past over a year now, I think. We have a show coming up next month together. We're doing a joint show in February. It's really fun. It's just kind of crazy how in tune she and I are from like a musical standpoint. Like it's slightly different, but we both understand each other, and we don't even have to talk about it. I don't know.
Have you heard her song? Yeah, have you heard that song "You Are NMS"?
I have.
Have you heard that record?
Yeah,
that song is such a bop, dude. I love it.
Have you heard "Thief"? That was the new one that just dropped.
I don't think I've heard that one.
It's a new sound for her. It's very much like EDM driven, but she sounds so good on it. She has one of those voices that just fits over everything. But we're exploring some more. I've turned her on to the count drums, and she's like obsessed with them. So it's really fun. But she does brand deals all the time. She's a producer too. So she works with like brands like Arturia and all the other stuff to just play around, have fun.
You've worked with some brands yourself. So you've worked with MXL.
I have. I've got my 990 right here.
How did you get linked up with them?
I actually don't remember. We've just kind of been talking to each other for as long as I can remember. I don't know. I think I won a remix contest, and I think that they were giving out the prizes, and we just stayed in touch after that. Yeah, but they've been such a big supporter of not only women in the music industry, but also getting music technology pushed out to like making it available and affordable for people who need it, which I obviously think is amazing, and that's what I'm here to do. And I love their mics; they're great.
Funny story about MXL.
Oh boy.
Way back in the day, and I mean way back, this was like 2005. The very first mic that I wanted really bad was an MXL 9000 mic. It was a tube condenser. I think it's one of their high-end mics.
That makes sense.
And I remember wanting it so bad. And I remember we were at a Guitar Center, and I think they were selling it. I think it was a Guitar Center. And I remember just looking at that mic, and the person that was working the counter, he told me, if you want that mic, you can play this gig and I'll buy it for you. The guy who was selling the mic, he said, I'll buy it for you.
Oh my gosh.
If you play this gig for me.
That's amazing.
And so
did you do it?
I played the gig. It was a funeral, and it was the most miserable experience. It was a 4-hour funeral. Now, I don't know if you've been to any funerals.
A 4-hour funeral?
But funerals typically
They're
do not last
4 hours.
4 hours. I've played at over 100 funerals, and I can tell you that ain't none of them gonna be 4 hours. Like, you might have a wedding that can go long, but funerals, they like to keep them short.
Yeah, they're just so sad.
Yeah. It was so miserable.
Oh.
But I got the mic.
You got the mic. Was it worth it?
I got the mic. It was.
That's good.
It was worth it. I recorded on that mic for years.
Yeah.
It was a really good microphone.
They're durable. They sound good, and I love them. I can only say good things about them. I have the 990.
You recorded with the MXL mic for this latest single, right?
I did, yes. Again and again was an MXL mic, and then I got a Chaotica eyeball recently. Chaotica sent me one, and I was very grateful.
Nice.
And so I just kind of put them together, because the one thing that I've always had trouble recording, like in my space with, is that I have a horrible room acoustically. It's terrible. But when you put the mic in the Chaotica eyeball, it's great. There's like no sound that comes from around the room. So you get like a really crisp, clear recording. And I was just so happy with it. I was like, dang, I'm going to only use this from now on. So that's what we did. Sebastian and I just took an afternoon and just recorded the vocals. It was great.
Nice. And which MXL mic did you use?
I used the 990. I really like how it sounds on my voice. Damoyee, though, she likes the 770. That's her favorite.
Oh, okay. Hey, you know what? They both sound great. So
they do.
Yeah,
they do.
Definitely. And you also have partnered with XLN Audio as well, because you've done stuff with them too.
Yeah, that's been really fun.
How'd you get linked up with those guys?
Well, again, XLN is another company that's really focused on kind of uplifting female producers. And so it's just great. It's great to see these companies kind of realize what the problem is with producers, not with producers, but that there's a problem, and the problem is accessibility and getting the people that should be making music tools to make music with, and seeing them kind of recognize this and do their best to correct it, or at least help, is amazing. I think it's a really big step, and I think it's going to help a lot moving forward. So yeah, sometimes when they have new things, and they send it to me to test, and then I just keep it.
Yeah,
which is great.
Like, you know you're on your way to the top when companies start sending you free shit. Like,
it's
that's
nice.
how you know you've made it.
It's really fun.
Like,
oh my gosh!
okay.
Do you want to see another thing that just came? I'm so excited about it. Have you heard about the Orba?
No.
The Artifon Orba. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This thing is a MIDI controller, but you can map like the buttons. It has buttons, but then there's also like motion. So you can map like tap, and then like how hard you press it, and then like if you throw it, it does something, and then you can also map the tilt to do something. So I'm really excited. I'm gonna like map the tilt to the LFO rate, and then like it's gonna be really fun.
Ooh,
I can't wait.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah, and they sent me one with a lovely note being like, can't wait to see how you use this. I was like, feel good.
Yeah. See, that's how you know you made it, when people start sending you free shit.
Yeah,
because
we're gonna give one of these away soon.
I haven't gotten free shit in years. It's been a long time since I've gotten free shit. Like, I used to get free shit from Make Music, because I was sponsored by Make Music. So I got, free stuff from Garriton, and
I was
free
gonna say
stuff.
that their finale, right?
Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
got that.
I only know that I won a composition contest for them back when I was in high school, and then I ran into them at like a convention, and they were like, Annie, and I was like, hello. I was really awkward.
And you know what's so funny? I don't use Finale.
No,
like, whenever
I don't either.
Whenever I do composition, I use Sibelius, which I don't even like Sibelius, but the thing I used most
that they sent me was like a t-shirt. You probably got a t-shirt too, like a Finale t-shirt. I love my Finale t-shirt. It's so big, but I still wear it. So like XXL. Like did not look at the profile that I had talked to them with, or they would have realized I was a girl in high school. I did not wear an XXL t-shirt, but that's okay.
Yeah, you don't strike me as somebody who wears an XXL, because I don't even wear an XXL.
My dad does me wear an XXL. Yeah, no, if you tie it the right way, it's like a great pajama lounging shirt. So I love my finale shirt. It's like a meme. It's a meme in my apartment. My roommates like to make fun of it.
So you've been doing a lot of live shows lately. You did, obviously we talked about the ill.Gates thing. You also did, what was the one that you did? It was the one that you were on the roof. I can't remember the one. What was it?
Springboard Midwest.
Springboard Midwest. That was what it was.
That was really cool festival. I hope that I can go in person for it one day. But they had it virtually just, because COVID is still a very big thing up here in the Northeast regions. It was supposed to be in Ohio, but it just wasn't safe to travel down there. But, they reached out to us. Someone who was interning for them was a mutual friend of Sebastian and I's, and so we were like, "Hey, we think you should apply." And so we did, and they loved our music. They put us on the first block. I don't know if that means anything, but I like to pretend I like headlined a virtual show. I don't know how true that is, but I just living out my little fantasy here. But it was fun. We had a whole little video shoot that happened the day before I moved. It was chaotic, but it was really fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. And performing on the roof must have been a blast.
It was so much fun. The cool thing about electronic gear is you can really take it anywhere as long as there's no water. So you just plugged it in because it doesn't have to sound great on the roof just because you're recording it.
What's funny? I've actually played on the roof a number of times.
It's fun.
You'll be surprised how often that was a thing in the 2000s. That was a big fad in the 2000s of
It's really fun.
Rooftop parties and things like that. So I've played there have been a number of wedding receptions that have been on rooftops that I've played at. So yeah, it's not a unique thing.
No, it's definitely not, but it's the only space we had, so made the most of it. Couldn't do my apartment because I was moving the very next day, so.
Yeah, you have recently moved, right?
I have, yeah. This space I'm in now is new, and I love it. It's bigger, but I didn't go far. I just moved right down the street, so.
Yeah, I'm moving too, so.
Yeah? Are you moving right down the street?
No, I'm moving like 20 minutes away from here. So
okay, that's still not too terribly far, but far enough to be a little nuisance to pack up and go.
Yeah, it has been. It has definitely been. So you have any future plans, any hopeful collabs that you can get involved with? Oh
my gosh, so many. I'm planning on taking the rest of the year to just like produce and meet as many people as I can. And we have a show coming up that I'm really excited about. We have the Annie Elise band coming together. It's Annie Elise and the Elites. I call my band the Elites.
Wow. I did not know about this.
Yeah. I love them. They're great. I trust them so much with my music. And we all met because I was doing a project for school where we had to do a live tattoo. You go into a studio and the only thing that you can record is like left and right, the two channels. So you have to mix it all like in the room and in the board and everything. And for that, like we just had to find a song to play, but no, we made it way harder because why not? So we wrote a song. We wrote the song together. We all wrote the song together. So the chart is just the band that wrote it. And so everybody has equal writing credits, which I think is awesome. It was really fun. And then afterwards, we just had so much fun. They're like, what should we do next? And we were like, we should play a show. And so we are. So rehearsing with them for that. And that's going to be November 18th. Here in Boston. So it's going to be really fun. I'm so excited.
Awesome. And you're working on your solo project that you mentioned the last time, right?
I am, yes. The Annie Elise project. I'm hoping to release more music for that. I've got a whole batch of songs I'm hoping to release in the new year. And again is the second single off of that. We Can Pretend It's the first. Nice.
Annie, it's always wonderful talking to you. Thank you for coming back.
Thanks for having me back. It means a lot. Always a good time.
That is going to do it for this week's episode of Studio Chatter. I'll see you guys next week for another episode.